Again, salute to everybody that's going to be joining me today. Please make sure you hit the like button on your way in. And we're going to have this conversation, and I entitled this Another Female Dating and Relationship Coach Crashes Out. And that's what we see more common these days. And in the words of Minister Jack, if Jesus can't save these women, what makes you think that you can? You turn that volume down there. And most of the times you can't. So please hit the like button on your way through. We're going to get into the content and talk about what's going on today. And I made a video earlier this morning and talk about the current situations with dating and relationship. And I really titled it Men versus Mental Illness. Not that they're not men that have some mental challenges in life, but nobody panders and, simps for men like that. In fact, we hold men's foot to the fire. Tremendous amount of accountability coming from the society, coming from other men, coming from all of the above involved. Men are held to a standard. What's going on, my brother? Salute to you. You say I listen to your video every day. It's not intentional, man. I don't try to make jokes. No, man. I just be making content. It's just what it is, man. But again, these dating and relationship coach, especially on the female side, they get into it trying to offer women solutions or offer them options in terms of what they need to do to get in a relationship that they want. The problem was that you're dealing with somebody that does not live in reality, a world of delusion. We've had so many years of feminism. Then we have social media in here pumping up the social media fake self-esteem. Then you have all these things with makeup and cosmetic developments and filters and all types of things where women can enhance themselves to look a certain way. What you see here with me is what you get. You see me out in the street, I look the same way. Bald-headed guy, no makeup on, no hair. This is who I am. And for men walk around with their real face on. They don't have any delusional, like social media is not out here pumping men up, boosting men's self-esteem, pandering to them all day long, thirsting all day long, getting in their DMs all day long. So men have to force to live in their reality. Women do not. And because of the social media that has increased the reach of women, options for validation, options for attention, options for so many things. And we already had a system in this society that's a complete matriarchal gynocracy where they were getting, passes with everything, including getting compliments. Now we got into the Me Too movement. Guys were like, bullshitting them just to keep the peace so they don't file a human resources complaint, lying to them when you have to survive. So we've created an environment itself where there's just rarely ever any accountability for women. Even when women commit crimes, lie, misinformation, nobody prosecutes them. They just like, you know what? We don't want to discourage victims from filing complaints. So it's better that, we not go after them or file false reports or whatever else against them. And, so there's no accountability, even when they're wrong. We saw the situation with the lady who killed her husband, wrote a children's book about it. And finally, they caught her with her and figured it out. But before we get into the content, there's some matters we have to address. Safety matters. Specifically, what's going on with this brother? Somebody needs to check on this brother right here. Let's add this to the stage. Remove that. Add this to the stage. What the hell is going on with this dude here, man? Somebody check on this man. Make sure he's all right. One. I saw this and I was like, what? The hell is going on with this dude, man? Let me make sure I put it the right size here. Yeah, I was like, yo, check on this man's safety.
Never thought a man should have any reason to be afraid of a woman until I saw this video. My God.
Ladies, I just want to let y'all know I'm in a relationship and I'm getting married. And you can stop calling my phone. You can stop messaging me. And I'm in love. That's it. Just keep me out your life.
Brother, you stuck for life.
Whoever knows that brother. We gotta do a welfare check on that brother. Send 911 to his house. Yeah, he needs help, bro. He said, brother needs help. Hope his family see this. He looks terrified. Yeah, send 911 to this brother's house, man. I mean, you see that look? I don't know what's going on. I ain't going to make fun of the woman's face. Some people have certain defects or whatever else, man. But that one was like, yo, man, get this man some help. I mean, no joke. That shit is creepy.
I have never thought a man should have any reason to be afraid of a woman until I saw this video. My God.
Ladies, I just want to let y'all know I'm in a relationship and I'm getting married. And you can stop calling my phone. You can stop messaging me. And I'm in love. That's it. Just keep me out your life.
Brother, you stuck for life.
Bro, that dude, he's on. He's up calling the A-Team rescue that brother. I mean, it's crazy, man. Again, that's why when I talk about things right now today, we got to consider mental illness. And that's something all these dating and relationship gurus and coaches don't really talk about. They don't talk about the mental health crisis out here. What's going on? I mean, there's side effects to sexual liberation. There's side effects to everything. And even with guys nowadays, man, I saw this Instagram post, dudes that are trying to protect their peace and save themselves some money, dudes gonna start acting like this now. I think some dudes just gonna be like this, man. Dudes gonna start running from these broads like this, just trying to save themselves some money, trying to survive out here in these streets, man. Because this dude ain't having it. He saw this coming. He escaped.
왜 그래요? 아, 왜요? 아, 진짜.
I gotta see that shit again. He got in there kind of quick, though.
왜 그래요? 아, 왜요? 아, 진짜.
He's like, what do you want? He's out. He's not having it, you know. He said, I got a message from my married friend whose wife is yelling at him for no reason again. Couldn't be me. It's crazy, man. You know, the type of nonsense dudes are dealing with these days. And, you know, I know this is a screenplay, but it's certainly entertainment. But getting back to the topic, I mean, again, there are no solutions. There's only trade-offs. And you got to be real particular and real guarded today in how you control and manage your peace. Because they got a message from a married friend whose wife is yelling at him for no reason again. Yeah, the emotional roller coaster, especially nowadays. It's crazy how it is out here, and that's what people are not really considering or really talking about. I see guys doing all kinds of different things nowadays. Guys are standing themselves. Guys are protecting their peace. They're protecting their resources. And even at the dating events, we had dating events in the past, and they're asking the women are asking themselves, where are all the bachelors gone? Where are all the single men disappeared to? And even when I did the live stream the last time, when I put the brothers on the back of the milk carton, they're not showing up to events. They're not getting out here. They're not approaching women. They're not talking to them. They're not getting, they're not getting on the apps. They're not doing any of those things. And, even the women that coach women on how to meet men, they're having a difficult time dealing with the women themselves. It's crazy. Because most dudes that, got their life together, got self-esteem, that understand the dating and relationship market, either they're guys that are enjoying a lot of women, but then there's guys that just chill out, be like, nah, man, I'm gonna chill. They go overseas, they do all kinds of different things and just sit this out. Maybe they will interact only enough to meet their needs, but they're not really getting into these relationships with these women long term, and again, the dating coaches, the female dating coaches, we saw with April Mason, we saw with some of the other female dating coaches that just quit. Again, too much risk, too low reward. And this is not, like I said, this is not your granddaddy's world. And a lot of people talk, they don't understand that men calculate risk mitigation and they look at return on investments in terms of what you're getting, what you're giving and what you're getting. And what you're getting most of the times in this current environment is just pre-owned box. That's all you're getting. There's no conversation that's being had about what men need or what men desire or how to get into a relationship with a man in terms of providing him or adding some value to his life beyond what you have between your legs. That's not even a topic of conversation. I mean, that's all they think they have to offer you is pre-owned. Not all women, the 10% women I give an exception to, but generally speaking, the only thing that they think they have to offer men, and men are, responsible for some of this too, especially the simps and the jellybacks, they have helped lower the standards, but inevitably, that's all they think they have to bring to the table in terms of relationships. But we're going to get moving right along. Let's get into the female dating coaches, which was the main topic of this video or this live stream, is how these female dating coaches are crashing out and even just not even, this is my brother Chizazad out here. And this particular dating and relationship coach, she's very boisterous and very loud. I mean, very boisterous, very loud. She's very, I've seen snippets of her content on other social media platforms, very, very masculine in her tone and delivery. Like, wow. But she's a married woman, Got a little bit too much testosterone going on in her bloodstream, according, there's a lot of testosterone flowing through this woman here. Masculine as hell. Like, damn. What the hell? But for some dudes, they like masculine women like this. I don't know. Shit, I'd be uncomfortable with a woman with this type of testosterone around me. I'm like, you a lady or one of the fellas? You know what I mean? Like, to each their own. Salute to my brother Chezazad, man. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
The new generation of women disgust me. Disgust me. She said it, not me. Not me.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
She said it. She said, I woke up this morning feeling some type of way. We have a dating and marriage coach here, dating and marriage educator. And my question to you is, how long do you think you could last giving advice, trying to guide modern women through the dating market today before you lose your mind? No more wasting time. Let's check it out.
Let's talk about the new generation of women.
Let's talk about it.
You guys are disgusting. And that's for real. Now, I'm not talking about all women, okay? Let me say that. But a very big majority of you all are such low level, are such low class, classless, disgusting, embarrassing. You guys are disgusting. And then you get mad when people are not clapping for the ignorance. You guys are shameful. And because of your disgusting low-class behavior, Black women are at the bottom.
Put that coffee down.
They're not ready for that. They're not ready for that. Put that coffee down.
People look at us as a science project. They don't understand us at all. The mindset, the way we carry ourselves, the things that we celebrate. It's so bad that men do not even want to commit to you guys. They don't want to be in a relationship with you. They just put you guys in situationships, pump you up with a baby, and there you go, another single mama. And then you guys want to celebrate that like that is something so big and something so we're supposed to admire that. There is nothing admirable about that, okay? You guys are a reflection of bad parenting, a reflection of no parents, a reflection of fatherless behavior. That's what you guys look like, okay? Well, that's what you guys are. Put it like that, all right? And then again, you want to get upset when people are not clapping for the ignorance. You want to call it judging. You want to call it, yeah, it is judging, okay? And if you was back in our day, yeah, you would be judged until your behind wouldn't even want to come out the door, okay? Yeah, what you guys have decided to celebrate is horrific. People in other communities just look at us, all right? Because what you guys have decided to clap for is the most low-level behavior imaginable. People in other communities, they have husbands. They have families. They don't go around getting pregnant by men. And the type of men y'all be getting pregnant from. Nasty looking men, rugged looking men, men who don't even look like they take baths. And y'all ignorant self be up there, yes, girl, do it, do it. Do you know how dumb you sound? Do you know how dumb you look? But I guess I'd be dumb too if I ain't have no parents. I guess I'd be a dummy too if I had parents who didn't care about me. Yeah, I guess that's how it looks when you haven't been raised by nobody.
We're just going to let that sit.
Wow. I don't know. She crashing out. How they tell us men? Girl, who hurt you? Who hurt you? You know what I mean? Wow. Wow, wow. She unpacked a lot. That's a lot, man. Hey, look. Boy. Yeah, you gotta let that sit. Yeah, she unloaded right there. I think what it is like, there's only so much truth that you can stick your head in the sand and hide from. And the crazy part about it is that these women out here now are just brutal. Because there's a code, there's a message, there's a acceptable conversation. Even the panda bears understand it. The panda bears understand that there's only one way to deal with the women today. The customer is always right. The customer is always right. Anything that deviates from the message of men ain't shit, you go girl, the men need to do better. You got to focus all of the energy on the men. The men are not living up to standards. The men are a bunch of dusties and losers. To make money off today's women, you have to keep the message centered around men ain't ish. That's the only message that's accepted by today's women. And because you have a system in place with the society, with the government, with even social media, with the panda bears, with women in general, that has absolutely removed any type of accountability or responsibility from women. And obviously women spend 80% of the money in the country. So the only way to get to messages received, you have to literally be kissing women's ass, telling them what they want to hear. But there comes a point too where she probably said something to one of these women that shined the mirror in her face. And you know what happens when you shine the mirror in the face of women, especially in the matriarchy like the Black community? They're going to go off. It's an environment that runs on feelings. And we have so many panda bear, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that you can try and have a conversation that involves accountability and that's going to get outcome. Nah, they ain't trying to hear that shit. He said, I signed a free agent 2-year agreement with Ghana. I got a free place. Salute to you, man. You definitely hit the like button. My brother, Andrew Baker, salute to you, my brother. Hey, make sure you guys hit the like button. Yeah. She probably said something off the code. She better call Derek Jackson and get her message back around. See, Derek Jackson understands the game of talking to the Black female. You gotta get down and Ace knows it too. You gotta pander, man. When you do content or when you deal with women, you gotta lie your ass off and pander. He said, they're gonna come for her. But look at everybody everybody that gets off code. It doesn't matter who it is. Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, anybody that says anything that's off code is going to get crucified. And that's something you can't change. Now, they're going to come for her. They're going to unsubscribe from her channel. Unless, it's short-term memory. Unless she removes the video and starts kissing ass for another 6 months, then they'll come back. Start bashing and beating men's head in. April Mason's made the same mistake, thinking that these women care about, that's why even the pastors now. Outcome does not matter in that environment, in that community. All it cares about is how you make them feel. So let's continue on.
Just let it sit. Just for a little bit. We ready? A quick moment for the sponsor of this channel, fathershaverights.com. Let's talk about something and send you to jail. You see, family court still expect mom. Family court. Let's check out some of these comments, see what the people have to say about this hot brew that was just served. Top comment here says Daytona Beach spring break videos were genuinely heartbreaking. Yeah. The Houston spring break videos are just disgusting. I'm from Houston too. Social media broke the world. No, don't blame social media. She had it right. Parents are important. Your parents set that standard of what's acceptable, what's not. The continued support and encouragement because it's one thing to learn from your mistakes, but to sit there and have other chicks say that fathers aren't needed, marriage isn't that important, it's just a piece of paper, I can raise up a young man without a father, it all leads to this. Next comment he reads, I'm so happy my mom was strict growing up. I get it now. She understands. Here's another person that says, I have 3 sons. I'm worried about them finding wives. Think about that. Worried about them finding wives. Somebody else here says, unfortunately, my son is dating a Japanese girl now in college. Why is that unfortunate? He probably looked. At this point, just be happy that he's found someone who he can invest in. She goes on to say, me and my husband tried to guide him back to black women, but he said he tried and he's not compatible. Imagine how I felt because I met his father in college 20 years ago. Somebody else who says, unfortunately, well, like, let's be honest. People like to pretend, right? But this is the coffee pot. White people, when they're like white parents, in most cases, they're not going to say it because they don't want to be offensive. White people, they would rather their kids marry or date their race. Now, what would they say if you go around, do a street interview, and put a camera in their face, they'll say, it doesn't matter to us, right, hon? Because they know that even though it's not, you're going to accuse them of being racist. Black people would rather. Asian people would rather the same thing. Hispanic people would rather the same thing. Most people, parents, probably would rather. Why? Because most people typically date their own race. We're typically more attracted to their own race. Now, with that being said, you have to have nuance to anything in life. Ultimately, I just hope my children find people who they love, even though they're not as fortunate as I am to be married to someone who I am ideally attracted to, which is my black wife.
So I heard about this relationship coach that quit due to all of these unrealistic demands that many women have brought to her. And the reason why she quit was because there was no way she could make any of these women happy. Now, mind you, I've said this in the past. There is no way you could demand so many things from a man that you are not even demanding for yourself. You do understand that the reflection of who you are, the reflection of who you are is what you are going to attract. You get that, right? No? Let me break it down to you. You should not be asking from any man as a woman all of these things that you don't have yourself, including the job, including the salary, including clothing, designer clothing, including the car that he drives, including the house that he has, where he lives, how he lives. The list goes on. Ladies, please, I am telling you this right off the rip. I know that there are some men out there that all they want to do is be the man with the money. You know why they say this? Because majority of you women, that's all you are looking for is for the man with the money. So that is all they are focused on, is getting to the bag. What happened to relationships where you got with someone because you actually like them for who they are? And yeah, you need that security, no problem. But make sure you're secure yourself. Make sure that you have the house, that you have the car, you have the bank account. So if anything was to ever go left, you can take care of that man, because it takes two, not just one. It takes two. Really self-reflect and look at all of the reasons why.
And before she finished that video, she's going to get about 10, 20 insults, calling her a pick-me, a mommy, a whatever, male identified, whatever else. They're going to just laugh at you, my sister. You're talking in the wind. You're talking against the wall. You're talking to the wall. The women don't give a rat's ass about what you're saying. Unfortunately, they don't care about what any of this stuff that we're talking about. What they care about is they're not getting, the only thing, you know why women care what we think nowadays? Inflation, jobs losses from automation, layoffs, and these companies cutting jobs to meet margins financially. AI is taking a lot of the administrative functions that they're having. No more DEI, no more affirmative action. All these funding programs for women and stuff is disappearing. That's the only thing they're paying attention to. If Kamala Harris had won the election, these women they wouldn't be talking about dating and relationship again. They'd still be talking about men should be born in jail and earn their way out. They'll be like, you guys are a bunch of predators. They'll be calling us all kinds of names. Men are useless. Men are this and men are that. If Kamala Harris had won the election, all these dating and relationship conversations would be purely just insults. They'd be, you chose the bear. But the bear is a damn derelict. He hasn't been paying no bills. They'd be telling you what such losers we are. That's why they're talking to you. They fear inflation. There's a war going on in the Middle East. It's uncertainty. And what do they turn to when Big Daddy government has filed a divorce? The government's not courting them anymore. And these corporations are heartless. They don't care about anybody. They'll lay you off in a second. So know what they do? They turn to men. That's what's left. So they turn to men under duress, out of desperation, not because they want to or they have a genuine desire to be with men. And even then, they still try to do it on their terms. You know, and that's the sad, sick part about it. They're not trying to do it on, they're not trying to say that, well, what do men need or how I need to be better for the men that I want. No, hell no. They're interested in doing that. They want you to come to them they'll be with them on their terms. You know, so it's even still a part of a rebellion. So women like this who talk, they're talking to the wall. Women don't care what she thinks, but we'll let her go alone and say what she got to say.
You truly want to be in a relationship today, right now, if that is something that you want to do. That is all I'm saying. So you could demand all of these things from these men, but imagine if these men were demanding all of these things from you. Really think about that and be mature about it.
That with you on why I'm leaving this side of it, because of expectations are so unrealistic, because you can't have expectations like that and no preparation. You don't even study, like how do you want a man and you don't study even how to talk to a man? You don't even study, how men process. You don't even study that, like those.
So much ego and pride. There's nothing. It's just they demand these traditional, like I said, traditional men, but they want to be modern and wonder why they're not attracting certain men. Like they're barely.
You women don't have any problems expressing yourself when it's something negative to a male. But let a woman come up here and we have to have a real talk moment. All of a sudden, I don't like this show because I feel low. You don't like the show because your ass don't want to take direct criticism. And you know what? That's why your ass is going to be watching me as long as I do the show. And you ain't going to get a man because
last year and the beginning of this year, I stopped matchmaking. And the reason I stopped matchmaking is because I literally was I can't handle female clients. I was a matchmaker that matched females, and I had a few male clients, but predominantly I was matching women. And listen, it was such a valuable lesson for me, because what I learned is that the average woman doesn't really want just a good man. She doesn't want a husband. What she's really wanting are these standards or ideas that she has of what a man is supposed to be. But this is nothing what men are. This is not realistic for who men are, how they think, what they value. It's just this preconceived, idea that women have of who men should be. But this is not reality. Okay. So literally the standards here that I see consistently in women that stay single, do not get married, and the difference between women and wives is understanding, one, that men are not women. He's not going to be your best friend like your best girlfriend. You can't talk to him like that. They don't talk like that. They don't talk that much. They're not so sensitive and girly the way we.
Next comment here says, the respect is gone. Another person who says, I'm a black woman and I agree 100%, 1,000%. Another person who says, this is a public service announcement. Another person who says, I am a black woman and I appreciate this message. Here's somebody else who says she's not lying. Another person who says, this is so true. It's bad. It's very, 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 very bad. And yes, because it's so bad, men will go and look elsewhere, no matter how much you try to act like it doesn't bother you. It will affect you. It will affect you. Uncomfortable conversations, but even more uncomfortable situations that are created by not having these conversations. This is hilarious, by the way. Giant Mike. Speak louder, she says.
Yeah, speak louder, but we're speaking to the wall. Primarily, they're not really hearing what people are saying, especially men. Hey guys, make sure you hit the like button. Where we gotta go? You guys want to support the channel, please go ahead and support the channel. But we're going to keep the conversation going. But all of this is talking to the wall. At the end of the day, they're not trying to hear or listen. He said, random thoughts, I hate Duke basketball. everybody watches to see Duke lose. That's a whole different conversation. He said, they don't even like black men. Yeah, well, yeah, well, they like, they've been married to the government for a long period of time, and it's a conversation it's a circular conversation to nowhere, because at the end of the day, you have to, they're not going to take any responsibility or accountability for anything. Why would they? The truth of the matter is there's always some jellyback simp at the end of the rainbow to save them. They know it. They know that some dude, some Boyce Watkins or one of the other guys is going to come and be a superhero and save them and pay their bills or wife them up. They go to their church and just rebrand. Yeah, guys, make sure you hit the like button. They're just going to go to the church, rebrand themselves, and come back brand new or re-virginated and try and market themselves at MSRP, which is marriage. And the whole cycle will start itself over and over again. But she is the latest to take the L, and it's going to continue.
Please, they want to hear the truth. Yeah, it's always interesting to me that it's the same pattern. When I said earlier, like, how long would you be a female dating coach before you kind of lose it? I've seen people sort of quit, lose it, explode, just like this. Remember there was a lady who went by the name of Rebecca Lynn Pope, really big on YouTube at some point. And she kind of, one point, was talking down on Kevin Samuels and saying, he's a bit too harsh. And sure, you're allowed to have that opinion if you believe that, sure. And then she snapped one day. And I reacted to the video. I was like, oh, look who it is. There was no disrespect, but obviously she was sounding exactly, if not worse, than what she was accusing him of being. And another situation people did not expect, when the so-called Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, let me bring it up here. Remember when she said, I don't know if she was on the Breakfast Club because I'm not seeing the video come up here, but she said there are more good single men out here than good single women. her fan base lost it because she decided to speak the truth. Now, they won't agree with this at all, but she said it. And it's not that we care what she thinks. I'm just saying this is one of their queens, right? And the Black community, especially. Black women really look up to her. I don't think she gained points with telling the truth there. But based on her experience, trying to guide women to something that she's never had, which is a marriage, and that's just the truth here. That's just the truth. They were devastated, I'm sure, by hearing that news. I am curious, though, to see, maybe it'd be too much for YouTube, but I'm going to see Daytona Beach spring break. Let's see what they're talking about here, what's happening. That was a gunshot, right?
I don't blame any of the restaurants or the beaches for charging astronomical prices for spring break this year. Y'all really thought y'all was gonna go into people's restaurant broke? I seen a girl who said that, oh, they charging $300 per table. Yes, I would be too. Y'all not finna come in here with y'all slides, lashes, and lace fronts, book bags and shit.
Oh, I see. So they bring up the prices to keep them out. Good.
Just to run out, just to do a dine and dash. No. In order to even sit in my restaurant, you're going to have to pay a fee. That ensures me that you're not finna dine and dash. All I've seen from Houston and Daytona Beach was a bunch of nonsense. That's it. So y'all really just went to spring break just to get in the fights? Just to get a...
That's a great idea. Rack up the prices. We're charging the cards before you eat. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, order outside. And this is for everybody, right? Just wouldn't single people out. For that particular time, rack up the prices. This makes a lot of sense.
Arrested? Like, y'all didn't even have any fun. It's the fact that half of y'all knew the people that y'all bought with y'all didn't have any money, so y'all couldn't even enjoy it. Y'all had, y'all can see the look on their faces. They were literally just standing around.
Yeah. So I don't think this, her video was necessarily about spring break as much as it was her opinion on the women who she probably tries to counsel and dating and relationships. That's what I think she was focusing on here.
I came across this video and I was like, wow, that sounds like something I would say. But when I say it, I'm a hater. I'm hating. Why would I be hating? I have no desire to look like that. Although I am a married woman, if I was single, I want men to take me seriously. I don't want men looking at me like I'm a clown. I don't want...
Well, I'm sorry, my sister, but we do look at you like you're a clown. You're wearing clown's hair and you're packed full of makeup, smacked on your face, and you're talking in a very masculine and aggressive tone. Men look at you like a clown. I don't know who's attracted to this type of high testosterone women. Why do women think that men, that's ED. That's erectile dysfunction. Just listening to her alone will create an erectile dysfunction for a man. I mean, I don't know. Look, the woman has a husband. Maybe he's into masculine women. But damn, she's a dude to us. Jesus. Just masculine. Listen to her voice. Ugh. Shit. What are these dudes sleeping with?
Men looking at me as a sexual experiment. I don't want that.
Nobody's looking at you as a sexual experiment or experience. Could you imagine how many layers of makeup is on this woman's face? It's Men are down bad if they're looking at you. I mean, as a sexual experience, if anything, you know, it will change a man's mind about consuming box that day if he listened to her. You might be on your way out the door to go get some box, and you hear her talk, and you be like, "Oh, nah, I'm gonna sit this one out today." She didn't kill any desire to consume women, just her voice alone. I mean, I don't. But you know, the standards in the community is kind of low. Some dudes, they take what they can get. They grew up around these masculine broads all their life, and they're like, you know, a hole is a hole, I guess. But damn, how do you perform? To each their own. Masculinity in women. Woo! Rough. That voice. Punishing.
We don't want the fake lips and the fake butt and the fake all that shit. We don't want none of that. If you're looking for marriage and love and honor and respect and loyalty, if you don't carry that for yourself, how are you going to expect a man to carry that for you?
And I know this truth have you guys triggered. However, I provide winning dating advice, result-driven dating advice, proven and tested dating advice. I like to say that my dating advice is not for all women because all women are not ready for this level of dating advice.
And they never will
This
be,
is
some of
smart
them.
dating advice for smart women. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to continue saying it. Quality men do not want women that look like that. Quality men.
And note this, and ma'am, quality men don't want women that also look like you and talk like you. That will cause erectile dysfunction. You're not a quality woman. You're a loud mouth, colored hair clown with makeup packed on your face. Absolutely disturbing. It's like somebody running their fingers across the chalkboard. There's no man with self-esteem that has options that's going to be listening to a woman like this. You got to be down bad on your money. You got to be down bad on your luck. You know, who the hell is listening to this bullshit? Not me. That voice alone will chase me out the home. I will not be coming back anywhere near her. That's ridiculous. The woman to have this much testosterone running through her system. And then nobody tells them that. Nobody tells them, like, just shut up. Shut shut that trap up. Take some femininity classes. This is absolutely despicable. That screaming and loud talking, masculine energy. Look at the amount. How many layers of makeup does she have on her face? I mean, look at that stuff.
Remember, I told you.
Yeah, I've seen other videos of her too.
Face.
Ruby, some of them.
Dating advice for smart.
Look how many layers of makeup is on that face. You look at that. Here, where you go? Oh my God. She's got about 10 layers of makeup on her face. Talk so cute. And I'm like, why out looking like that? Who you trying to attract? Yeah, you know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that, you know, men actually have women like this who talk like this in their lives. Is absolutely ridiculous. And again, she's going to get that. She's already taken an L, and the sisterhood is going to come for her. You know, they're not going to take that laying down. You know, you have to do like 6 months of pure pandering to get those women off your ass. Because I mean, she came through and she said some stuff, and the women are not going to forget that. They're going to crucify her in that community unless she finds a new community to go to. Don't even remember that stuff. And even a woman like her, at her age, these young girls out here, they not only are they not trying to listen to her, they will fight her. They will literally square off and fight this woman. The young girls in their 20s. They're not taking any advice from these older women. You know, they'll go upside their head. So we've created a dysfunction because remember, for the young girls, who are their heroes in the community? The Sexy Reds, the Meg the Stallions, and all the other people, Glorilla. That's who their hero is. That's who the young women are attaching themselves to. Not all of them, but a majority of them are attaching themselves to a type of dysfunctional, ratchet culture. And in that type of culture environment that runs off of pure emotion and feelings and debauchery, respect and things like that for elders ain't there. It's gone. You know, it's crazy. It's what we see now, and that's something that's not going to change ever in terms of how, you know, dating, relationships, and how things work out long term. So those things are completely behind us. And like I said in my video this morning, the biggest thing that men have to deal with now, more so, is the mental health crisis that we see out here because of the delusion that comes from social media. And we're like, yeah, you're dealing with crazy. And it's globally too. Because remember, this is global. We see it in China, we see it in other places around the world. So now you have to really vet for borderline personality disorders, narcissistic personality disorders. You know, it's especially that lack of empathy, lack of any type of care, or in their mind, social media has corrupted their mind so much where they think that relationships are all about them and that you should be grateful just to be in a situation with them. So you gotta get past that honeymoon stage and past that love bombing stage and past the stages that you see with these women out here to really listen to what they're saying and what they're offering and what they're doing and how they're going to add value to your life, which is most of the times, you know, exactly. He said it best. All think they're dimes because of that. They all think they're tens. They all think that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. They think that the only person in they're the only woman in the world that has a vagina. And their vagina is worth more than gold. Maybe to them it is, but not out here in the streets. But in their mind, they got the only box in the world. And that you should feel like you've won the lottery to get a taste of it. He said, every relationship I have with women is shorter than the last one because, you know, I noticed the same bad behavior sooner. And I talked about that before. And you know, and we had this conversation about, you know, the post-nut clarity depression and dealing with these broads, especially when you have these, I call them empty vessels. Because what happens inevitably is after a guy has really, you know, had sex with a woman or he's been with her and, you know, he's maybe controlled by the lust and everything else, and you have sex with her and all of a sudden, not only can you see the things you were seeing before, you see things more clearly. And it's like, hold on here. Hold on here. I don't know about this relationship. She looked good, but you know from past experience that when you rationalize women, it always bites you in the ass. When you overlook them red flags, and the worst thing now, because whatever you see now, it's only going to get 10 times worse when she moves in with you and start living with you. Now you got a complete narcissist in the house with you. It's like inviting some wild animal to live with you, and then she starts tearing into your ass. And you're like, holy crap, I got to get up out of here. You know, and that's what happens inevitably. Once they get in the house with us, you know, it becomes, you're living with an absolute monster. Because what's happened with social media, and there's a calculation that's not being calculated, is how much delusion there is in the environment. And what's happening now, hold on one second. Is that when dudes get into these situations with these women, oh yeah, their arrogance is absolutely crazy. He said, can live without you, but you're everywhere through the media, trolling men and making it's crazy how it is, man. But inevitably, after these relationships, dudes be like, hell no, man, I'm not doing that crap. But this is what's happening right now. We talked about this before. In the initial stages, dudes are getting in hot and heavy with the relationships. But after a while, it's like, what? They just pounded out an empty vessel. Either she's batshit crazy, or she just don't have anything to offer other than box. Box, and then your bills is going to go up. Like, dudes is really calculating return on investment seriously these days. Because when you do the calculation with, okay, this woman is just high maintenance emotionally. She ain't got no money, she broke, so I gotta pay. She don't really got any domestic skills, so that means I gotta cook and clean. So all I've really got is proximity to box. And more food, more shopping expenses. She got more birthdays, holidays. When I travel, I gotta pay double. You know, then I gotta pay double for meals. I got all these added expenses just to get my hand on some pre-owned. That's it. That's all she got. And they're not even pretending like they got anything else to offer you. You know, and you got to give up all of this just to get some box. And dudes like, hell no. I'm just going to have to scavenge whatever I need. I'm going to have to scavenge whatever I need from the side of the block, the side of the street. And that's what we have right now. And that's why I can see why I understand why some guys go into temporary monk mode. Like some dudes go into temporary monk mode. They call us all what they call us monk, call us incels and all kinds of names. Call you, I don't care what they call you. Sometimes dudes just go into temporary monk mode because they're burnt out on empty vessels. They've had sex with women and it's just been disappointing. The aggravation, calling your phone, asking you where this is going, you know, and like, yo, it ain't going nowhere, you know, and this is more common now in 2026 because what has happened is with social media, with all the pandering channels, and they did a study where they're spending like 11 hours a day on social media are what these people are spending, women especially. Imagine 11 hours a day you spend. They watch reel after reel after reel, all talking about impact stuff and spiritual stuff, and they all think they're empaths and have this spiritual religious power, and they can foresee the future, and they have all these ability to, you know, have this insight and wisdom and knowledge, but none of them can never tell you what the winning number is for the Powerball. Got all this power, and they all feel like they got this horoscope thing they're into, you know, the zodiac stuff and everything else all day, every day. So people are constantly feeding them content about being an empath and but being this and being that, and who's, you know, how, it's sorcery all day long on the internet. Then they got the panda bears talking to them, and they got all these male simps talking to them. They got all this content coming in. All of this content is a female generated content trying to get them to feel special, tell them how special and how wonderful they are. And get me, it makes money in this business. But nothing that they watch all day long, nothing that they watch is about how to take care of a man, how to make a man happy, how to exist in a relationship with a man, how to pour into a man, how to put a smile on a man's face, how to coexist with a man, what men need in relationships to be happy. Not one piece of content about that is coming out of their phone. It's all about them. They'll watch men and shit all day long. But they will never watch anything about how they can be better for men. They'll watch videos about enhancing themselves, getting BBLs and makeups and hair products and hairdos and how to do certain things with their body to make themselves more sexually appealing to get more attention. All day long, they'll do that. These women will fly from America and go all the way to South America somewhere. Some bootleg doctor in some alleyway and have him put a new ass on them just so they can get attention. But they won't do one bit of studying or learning or trying to figure out how to get a man or how to keep a man. But they'll figure out how to get attention. Like I said, attention is the most dangerous drug in the world today. They will put themselves on the, BBL surgery is one of the most dangerous surgeries in the world right now, life-threatening. They'll go under the knife to get attention, risk their life. So you talk to that creature, that individual that has only spent the majority of their life consumed with themselves, their physical appearance, and what makes them happy. And you get into a relationship with that person, and the conversation, the experience becomes about them and what they need to be doing, what they want to do for themselves, how they feel, what they want, what they need And more importantly, what you should be doing for them. And dude be like, hell to the no, I'm out. And that's what happens usually. So after all the excitement and the sex is over with, it's over. It's finished. It's finished. You know, that's what they look up. How to get a BBL. You look at the search history. Nothing in their search history is how to be better for the man they want. Nothing. Nothing in their search history. But when we talk about these dating coaches, like the one we talked about, she's trying to talk to women that are high on the drug called delusion and attention about how to get outcome. Women ain't trying to hear that. If anything, they feel like I am here. Look at me. Men should be breaking their necks to get a hold of me. In fact, it's an honor for these women to be talking to me. What's up, my brother? Red Pill. Salute, man. Yeah. Salute to you, my brother. They feel like it's an honor. You should feel honor to talk to them. That's how these women feel. When you see them, they think that you should be honored to speak to them. He said, my brother, salute your International Quiet Store. He said, it's way more cooking channels on YouTube and TikTok than men's channels. Yet these ladies can't boil. They can't boil water properly. Hell, they have a whole food network, but still cannot boil an egg. Let me tell you something, man. For the young men out here today, make sure your domestic skills are up. Make sure your cooking skills are up. Your cleaning skills are up. Because you're not getting any, he is absolutely right. He's absolutely right. But guess what? They watch the surgery channels, though. I bet you they watch how to get cosmetic surgery a lot. They watch all the drama channels. They watch all the housewife channels. They watch what The Bachelorette. Will that get canceled? The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, and all these other channels. Anything involving crash outs, drama, degeneracy, debauchery, they watch that shit. What they don't watch is anything about making themselves better to acquire the men that they want. Hell no. And even Kevin Samuels used to try that stuff, right? Kevin Samuels used to try to talk to them. And they only came on that show just for attention and to get points, you know. He said, how comes out of you? He said, it's amazing. He said, I live close to Mexico and an ex-girlfriend was talking about going to Tijuana for, exactly. That's what they watch for a tummy tuck she did not need. I told her if she died, they'll make her look like a junkie and throw her in. That's all they care about. And the crazy part about it is this. You know what's so crazy about it? Age don't matter anymore. You can get a 50-year-old woman that can be just as goofy as a 21-year-old in 2026. In fact, many of them are more goofy. And they take the same drug called delusion. And they're addicted to attention and validation, just like the young girl. They're competing with the younger version of themselves for the same men. But they all packed up with fillers and makeup and surgery, and they'll do anything to get, some of them are just pure lazy. Like the BBL looks deformed. Like, you know, the bubble butt with the skinny legs. You got women my age walking around with the bubble butts with skinny legs. You know, what they call that shit. So it's like it's really crazy out here, man. He said they're getting higher mileage to these people. wholesaling these used cars a little less than 100K at the moment spot P prices. Facts, they are. And you can't tell them nothing. You get cussed out. You get cussed out talking to them. It is absolutely gone insane out here in these streets. And nobody's talking about like Red Pill. I made a video this morning. Like even these game coaches they're not the game coaches. Game? You get yourself killed out here. You try and game some chick with borderline personality disorder. She been in Santa crash out due to your house, or she done a drive-by. Remember the chick who the chick just opened fired on the dude in the car, killed him and the chick that she was with. His ex deleted him and deleted the chick that he was with. Game. Shit. You better become a mental health professional out here. Identifying bipolar shit and be like, hey, look here. Before you even pound them, you know what I mean? Smack your meat, put it back in your pants like this. Look, just throw your meat back in your pants. Put your meat back in your pants and walk away. I'm telling you, man. Hey, salute, my brother. Appreciate it. He said, keep up the Consumer Reports on beaters. Rand dudes. Trying to deceive the brothers, man. Absolutely. I'm telling you right now. You gotta, okay. Nowadays, right? You gotta screen these women before you even think about pounding them. I mean, you're gonna have to practice some discipline, man. You gotta tell your meat. Look, we're gonna have to sit this one out. This one ain't gonna just go away like that. This is a drive-by type chick. You think you're gonna pound her and she's just gonna go away and you're gonna scream sounds of ecstasy and she's gonna orgasm, you orgasm, and you're gonna have this pleasure. She's just gonna just walk away like this. Oh, we're just gonna write that off to the game. Hell no. Especially if she know where you live. You might get a visit at midnight. Somebody come to your house at midnight and shit, right? He said, protect the meat, money, energy, attention, and time. Shout out to CGA for that. But dudes think it'd be over. No, it ain't over. No, not with these broads today. I saw, what is it? Tip did some, one of them, he did some series where the chick was challenging some older lady at the pool to fight. And it was a younger girl. And even though there were kids on the scene and people were telling her to chill out because there were kids there, she was still crashing out. It doesn't even matter. It didn't even matter. It was still crashing out. She had no emotional control. So the dating coaches and these game guys are not even considering the mental health component that has come where there's a crisis of mental health crisis. And I think social media, there was already a mental health crisis because of feminism. Feminism encourages women to get ran through, vigorously and viciously pounded out. Trauma. So imagine these women getting ran through, dudes kicking them out of rooms, slamming doors in their face, pounding them, not calling them back. Imagine the trauma that comes from that with these women, right? From getting trains ran on them, for them being sexually liberated. So now they're on medication, they're taking antidepressants, they're on all kinds of, medication and crap. Now, obviously the church has become a whole phase reset engine rebuilding facility. The church builds more vaginas, rebuilds more vaginas than Jasper rebuilds engine. They rebuild more women's box than what Jasper does with engines at the Jasper manufacturing plant in Indiana. That's what the church has become. You go in there, your vagina all blown out. The pastor throws some holy water on that shit, and it comes back out brand new, girl. Get back out there in the Virginia market and charge these men marriage MSRP. That's what the church will become. That's why they're always quoting scriptures. That balances out that meds, you know what I mean? They'd be like shaking from that pounding and shit. Yeah, they're rebuilding. I've never seen anything like that. Rebuild your vagina. Come to the church. You know, I gotta give me a church or something. You know what I mean? I'm the church of a peaceful life. Come to my church and you'll be a virgin again. Imagine that, right? Imagine me as a pastor. I'll be a pastor of peaceful life. I'll be praying over their vaginas and stuff. You know, speaking in tongues and hit them with some holy water. Hallelujah! You know, they become virgins again. You know, you've been cleansed of your fornication and all of their unholiness. And I reach down and touch them on the uterus and pretend like I'm grabbing those demonic spirits out of that thing. You know, fall on the ground and start shaking like I've got some demons in my hand. And they become virgins again. Of course, you have to hit the offering plate real heavy. You got to pound the offering plate for my services, but hey, it's what it is, man. Hell yeah. All I gotta do is offer to rebuild, remanufacture box, revirginated. Hey, I'm cheaper than the BBL doctors. If you can pay the BBL doctors, you can pay me. Damn it. He said, he said the funny thing is that I'm saying, why not? You know, you're gonna fly all the way to Brazil for a BBL. You know, I can get rid of those spirits out of you. You know, I can, you know, shoot, I'd have my special batch of holy water. You know, maybe have them go in there naked from the waist down. I'll be dipping them. In my whole, I have a big tub of holy water. I have them come with like a dress on, and I re-baptize them from the breast down, the waist down. Just stick them in the holy water like, ah! Have some special effects. The water turn purple or something from all the demonic spirits that come out of them. And so you've been cleansed of all that dirty pounding and vicious pounding. What did you let him do to you at the nightclub in the alleyway? You know, cleanse them, you know what I mean? Yeah, shoot. He said, I'll never run out of business. You can't. Because it's diabolical. Because, again, what do they use nowadays? To rebrand themselves and charge a higher price. Church, Christianity, and they also use therapy. Because they'll say, well, I went to therapy and I am healed. My past does not matter anymore. So whatever happened in the past doesn't matter anymore because I'm healed. And they'll shame you. You're unhealed now. You need therapy, buddy. You need therapy. Because the therapist is just validated or sit down, listen to their feelings about telling them, you know, because you can't correct them. A smart therapist is not going to try and correct them. You're just going to sit there and listen to them and validate them, blame men, make excuses, blame it on their daddy, talk about how that father did not give them enough hugs when they were a little girl. Listen to them for a couple of weeks, get a whole bunch of money out of them, and tell them, you are healed. Now go get yourself a husband. You know what I mean? He said, the African Beecher, bro, he was exercising demons from their coochie. Damn, you know, every time I got a good business ideas, these African brothers beat me to it, man. Hey, I offer local services though. You know what I mean? Yeah. He shrinks the walls. Oh, hell yeah. Man, there's all kinds of bullshit out here, man. The thing is now, man, now we have like, there's a lot of desperation out here today, man. I tell you what, man. Even to the extent, right? When I first started YouTube, there was a lot of female haters in the comment section. Every once in a while, I'll get a troll. Sometimes I'll troll the troll when I get bored, or I'll just give them a hard time. I don't fight them. I just walk into what they're saying because they're looking for us to be offended. They call us all kinds of names: incels, ugly, old, bald, broke, dusty, whatever they call. That's just a sign. That's like somebody going down in the Titanic and they're somebody on one of those icebergs sinking into the ocean from the Titanic and they're shooting insults at you. It's like the last Hail Mary, you know, like hopefully they can hurt your feelings on the way down. But the economy is in such a way, with inflation the way it is, it's only going to get worse. I mean, they're only going to print more money. And the price of goods and services is only going to get more expensive. So men have become back on the menu again. I mean, it's just what it is. It's become an environment now where even I see the desperation. The desperation is definitely here. And you see what I did, the dating events, we talked about that, where dudes are just not coming to dating events. They're not at the church. They're not at dating events. They're like avoiding, stay to themselves. They rather Netflix than chill. You know what I mean? And it's like they're not even going anywhere. So even if this woman wanted to get, men to take part, in dating and relationships, you can have all the female clients you want. But if you don't have any men, your dating and relationship business is totally hit. It's like having a dating event. What is the point of that? When nobody's coming to the events. So it is what it is, and then that's the damage right there that we see, that's been done to the dating and relationship market when you've made things all about women, it's made it all about women and nothing about men. So it's crazy as hell, man. And you know what? That's not changing anytime soon. So you said the female matchmakers are going out of business. They realize trying to match females with the delusional standards, it is a lose-lose. It's loose. It's crazy. The internet has made them crazy. So we're gonna let her crash out one more time. We gotta let this one out here before we get out of here today.
Women disgust me. She said it, not me.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
She said, and my
women, okay?
Let's get back into a crash.
No more is in time. Let's check it out.
Let's hear a crash.
Let's talk about the new generation of women.
Let's talk about it.
You guys are disgusting.
Mm.
And that's for real. Now, I'm not talking about all women, okay? Let me say that. But a very big majority of you all are such low level, are such low class, classless, disgusting, embarrassing. You guys are disgusting. And then you get mad when people are not clapping for the ignorance. You guys are shameful. And because of your disgusting low-class behavior,
right,
Black women are at the bottom.
Put that coffee down.
You're not ready for that. You're not ready for that. Put that coffee down.
People look at us as a science project. They don't understand us at all. The mindset, the way we carry ourselves, the things that we celebrate. It's so bad that men do not even want to commit to you guys. They don't want to be in a relationship with you.
Wow.
They just put you guys in situationships, pump you up with a baby, and there you go, another single mama. And then you guys want to celebrate that like that is something so big and something so, we're supposed to admire that. There is nothing admirable about that, okay? You guys are a reflection of bad parenting, a reflection of no parents, a reflection of fatherless behavior. That's what you guys look like, okay? Well, that's what you guys are, put it like that, all right? And then again, you want to get upset when people are not clapping for the ignorance. You want to call it judging. You want to call it, yeah, it is judging, okay? And if you was back in our day, yeah, you would be judged until your behind wouldn't even want to come out the door, okay? Yeah, what you guys have decided to celebrate is horrific. People in other communities just look at us, all right? Because what you guys have decided to clap for is the most low-level behavior imaginable. People in other communities, they have husbands. They have families. They don't go around getting pregnant by men. And the type of men y'all be getting pregnant from. Nasty looking men, rugged looking men. Men who don't even look like they take baths. And y'all ignorant self be up there, yes, girl, do it. Do you know how dumb you sound? Do you know how dumb you look? But I guess I'd be dumb too if I ain't have no parents. I guess I'd be a dummy too if I had parents who didn't care about me. Yeah, I guess that's how it looked when you haven't been raised by nobody.
We're just gonna let that sit.
Oh man. Oh, I had some clips of her. Oh boy, what are we gonna do, man? He said 3 or 4 that showing up at the airports and standing security lines and booty shorts with bad pH odors. Yeah, I'm glad I got pre-checked. Old people be mad in the lines. It's disturbing, man. He said, you know, a grifter too. Well, she is. But she taking, now they're going to be coming for that, her grifter ass. Just like Dr. Cheyenne Bryan. They're all grifters. You know. He said disgusting. Yeah, he said it's real hard. Hey, it's at a point right now where I would say in America, I would say for the most part, other than the 10% women, the market has crashed. The market has crashed. The relationships just are not lasting. They're not lasting. They're just not lasting. You can't get these guys to show up. Any guy with any self-esteem, if he's not in a relationship anymore, he don't want nothing to do with this shit. He's in hiding. Some go into monk mode. Some hide. They ain't trying to experience this. They keep it low profiles, man. So they're not dealing with this bullshit. You know, they're not dealing with this bullshit. And that's what they don't understand. You're not trying to deal with this nonsense out here in these streets. And it's a tough product to sell. Now, if you happen to have an event, okay, how would you do it? You can't put it as a dating event. And the kind encounter, see, he said that's too good to go. Let that sit. You gotta let it sit, man. But what do you advertise today as value that would get men to show up? They're not going to the church. They're not going to the dating events. So they're going, and what was funny, I saw BGS did a show the other day, BGS Igmore. He was talking about these chicks are showing up at Afrotech. They're showing up at events for guys that are into the gamer guys and the tech guys and the science guys. With the economy the way it is, they can't even be afford to be messing with certain dudes no more. They are literally out here scavenging for squared away dudes with jobs. Like they're going to places. Swagger don't even matter to them no more. They're going to Afrotech and everywhere else they can find because they don't have that support of the government anymore. Uncle Sam filed for divorce. The money ain't flowing like it used to. They're scared. You know, the young men, they're getting more conservative. These young bucks is brutal. They're like, I ain't paying for that. Kick rocks. He said they're turning Afrotech into another Freaknik. They're looking for, they need that money, man. It's that money. They need that money. You know, they need that dough bad. Something awful. Man, see, it's easy to talk trash when you got DEI and affirmative action and women's programs and women's empowerment, women's business loan, and you know, when the liberals are in charge and all these government, the women feel like, yeah, they got our back. Remember when they used to say gender was a construct? Call a woman a feminist today and she'll be offended. Who you calling a feminist, boy? They don't even want to be called feminists no more. They're like, who you calling a feminist? Even though they're feminists. All their behaviors and attitudes and action, because that ain't gonna get their bills paid. That ain't gonna get them no money by identifying with feminism. Yeah, hell no, I ain't no feminist. You crazy. I don't even like those feminists. Hey, like, who? Me? A feminist? You crazy, boy. I don't like those women. You know? We see more trans wives popping up. You know, the church is packed. It's the economy. The economy changes things, man. You can talk all, see, this is what I'm saying. Two things has affected the dating market. Men's silence. Men's silence has affected the dating market. Two, inflation and the economy. Three, I would add a changing geopolitical climate globally, where there's wars, the instability, and a political climate that has changed where the certain party of protecting women and LGBT is out of power and they don't feel the self-esteem from the government. In fact, Uncle Sam has kicked them to the curb. And Uncle Sam is now talking trash to them. And they ain't stopping these corporations from laying them off. And you know these corporations going to get rid of all the hard-headed people first. You know, all the arrogant, cocky feminists, they're going to, you know what? We got to get rid of 20,000 people. Let me see. Look through the HR complaints. Oh, we definitely get rid of her job. She's gone. She's gone. She's gone. Crazy Karen, down in customer service, she's gone too. Crash Out Keisha, she's gone too. We're going to replace her with an answering system. She's gone. He said, brothers here in the chat are getting, hey, big head text, messages, DMs from chicks that curbed them 10 years. Yeah! There you go. I'll be like, where are you during C19 when the stimulus checks were popping, right? Exactly. Oh, yeah. It's rough. Man, you know, like, things that used to be affordable, man, you like, things that used to be just $50, you dropping $200 on it. Fixing things, repairing things. You own a house, you can't fix things yourself. Huge markup, huge markup. Simple repairs on cars, changing lights, changing small things. It runs up fast, man. Oh yeah, they were getting 70%. Yep, less than 2% of it was, yeah, exactly. 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 Yeah. Yeah. But the job replacements are not going anywhere soon. It is. Exactly. Yep. You see, every company using AI as an excuse to get rid of folks. Even companies that have nothing to do with it. Yep. Very true. Very true. But it's, look, for us as men, we exist on the Serengeti. The majority of these government programs don't benefit us. You know? Oh, wow. Wrinkle Science said. Salute to your daughter, man. He said, my daughter was watching TV. She's 9. The politician was bragging about being a single. My daughter turned and said, man, nobody's trying to hear what a single mother is saying. And you're right. Nobody trying to spend that money no more. Look here. Smart dudes is guarding their wallets. Dudes is like, man, I ain't dating and giving up no money like that. Hell no. Return on investment. Dudes is calculating on a serious level. Like, nobody trying to, like, it ain't that easy to get money out dudes like they used to no more. You know? You see what I did? I put them dudes on that milk carton. You can't just be getting dudes to do things that used to 10 years ago and shit. These dudes today will walk right past a chick changing a tire in the snow. They ain't shoveling no snow. They ain't playing no hero. He said the milk carton. Dudes don't care though, but dudes like, man, hell no. You know, like what? Money? Money is precious these days, man. He said the milk carton is classic. Yeah. Why just hand over no money like that? Can you imagine that? Like, you work all week hard. Because money is really for a man an extension of your labor. Because everything we want from a woman comes from her. She doesn't have to go outside of herself to get anything that we like. Everything we like is her. Her body, her femininity, her energy, her female presence, and the way she makes us feel. We got to go out on the pick cotton or go out, work all day long, drive in the snow, hustle, and work hard for your money. And some of these goofies on here telling guys need to just date them and do whatever with no sign of any return on investment. For a woman that's already getting pounded out viciously, vigorously at night, I'm going to spend my money, take her out. I mean, it's one thing a woman that you're already enjoying, but some strange woman wants you to spend money on her with not any type of sign or that this is going anywhere other than a casual conversation. But you didn't lost that money you just spent. I understand it's a part of the game, but for what you see now based on the current environment, who the hell is wasting their time with that bullshit? Dudes getting smart. I think we still got some ways to go with that. That probably won't be here in another decade or so, because the question becomes the safety of it. Anything happens with that network and there's a, there's a accident or something like that, it comes down to the insurance companies, to be honest with you. But I think what's going to happen mostly is a lot of these clerical jobs and a lot of the legal job with the paralegals and stuff like that, they're going to be affected first, because you can always do a document or have a legal form created in AI. But an actual operation of an actual machine that's on the roadway, you got to worry about technical glitches and things of that nature. But I think the majority is getting rid of these clerical, jobs that are just administrative pushing, paper pushing, and things of that nature. Those who push papers just sitting at the cubicle all day long, those jobs are going to be mostly the jobs that are occupied by women are the ones that are going to go first. A guy who's great at cement, or somebody that's very skilled with their craftsmen or with their hands, or repair technicians or anything like that. Those people are always going to have. They're going to be, especially if you're really, really talented as a skilled professional. You're always going to be in demand. You're always going to be in demand. You're always going to make money. But for women don't like to do all that physical labor. Women ain't going to be out here in the sun, working that concrete. They don't be out there like that, baffling that, smoothing off that concrete and shit in the sun. They ain't going to be out there putting on no roof or down in the gutter and messing with some pipes and replacing somebody's sewage pipe or whatever else. They'll be like, hell no, I'm going back home in the kitchen. Or they'll just go in the kitchen and wait for you to get off from work so you can cook something for them. Because they ain't going to cook. Whatever Sim thinks that deal. So it becomes a situation where, and again, we talk about expense. Yeah. Absolutely. But just the overall cost to do things is where women are getting cracked. I talked about car repairs. Like, for me, changing an alternator, it's going to cost me $250 for the part, $250, $300 for the part, right? I do the labor on changing that alternator. For a woman, changing that same alternator is $1,000. So she has to pay $1,000 to change an alternator. I only pay $250, $300, or a certain part goes bad. I fix that myself. Unless it's something complicated where I have to take the engine apart, then I'll outsource it. But brakes, I change my own brakes. I change my own, I can change my own rotors and all these other things like that. That I can do. So those little small repairs, I do that shit in the driveway. So what causes a woman $1,200, $1,500, $2,000? It's only costing me $300 in parts. And that's the difference between men and women. Or something breaks in the house, I install a new garbage disposal, a new whatever. Those things that we just get in there and we just hammer them out with ourselves, that we only paying for the part. We're not, the labor is being done by us. Especially guys that have some technical skills or good with a wrench. They can't do that. And all of that adds up. And plus they have additional maintenance with their physical appearance because they're always buying beauty products and clothes and everything else. He said strong independent women pay $700 not to touch a wrench. Absolutely. And they just don't have the skills or the discipline. And for us, that $700 repair is only $100 for us. And all that stuff adds up. And don't even go to the dealership. I don't even call it a dealership. You go to the dealership and they drive cars that like, German cars and whatever else that break. And it's he said he ordered that. Yeah, I ordered the garbage disposal from Amazon. Where it's like, yeah, you get down there and you like, sometimes the garbage disposal is connected to the dishwasher and other things like that. And when you do the installation, you got to get in there and clean those lines out. That's gross and disgusting. Women don't want to do that crap. Mess with the garbage. It's disgusting down there. But for us, we, what was it about? $300 for a good disposal. Fixing that ain't killing me to fix that. It's annoying. Like I changed the plastic radiator in my car. I got that out of there. $250 for the part, for me to do it. For a woman, that's $1,000 right there in repairs. For me, I get down in there and drain the radiator hoses, put brand new hoses and clamps on there. I did that myself in the driveway. I didn't have to take it to a mechanic to do that. The mechanic gonna hit them for, I just put a clamp on those transmission lines that go into the radiator and fix that myself. So it's a whole different game. He said Korean shipbuilders are using robotic welders to enhance efficiency and address labor shortages. Honda and collaboration with Panasonic, AI developed with Persona AI development, AI powered welding robots for shipyard projects. Yeah. He said even if you're on hard, you save so much money not dating that you can. Yeah, absolutely. Because what is really the dating thing right now? Because people are just hooking up now. People have friends situation, friends with benefit situations. They have a network that they're on where they just have sex. They ain't really any single women. They're women just waiting in line. There's women that are waiting in line to get a certain dude. They're not single. So if they're waiting in line to get a certain dude, they're already being sexually active. Yeah. They're sexually active. Now they come bring this fake celibacy thing to the church because obviously they're trying to get the money now, but they're not single. They're just waiting in line. They can't get to the front of the line to get the guy they want. And now that they're broke, dude with a good job and a decent job with a good pension will do. If he's palatable, they can, okay. It ain't going to kill me to have sex with this guy. He's not my taste, but he's not disgusting. And I can mate with him. He's got a good pension. He's got a house. He's got some money. He got a couple dollars in the bank. It's better than nothing. And I think that's where the rationalizations come. They don't really have any passion and desire for him, but they can't continue to wait in line for the guy they want. I mean, he's got hoes in different area codes. He's not trying to settle down with them. They might get in a relationship with the new guy and still grab a little bit taste of it, but, you know, it's all... Oh, yeah. It's gonna get interesting in the next few years, man. And I don't know what's gonna happen with the war and situation that's going on with the, you know, with gas and oil and whatever else, but it's gonna get very complicated over the time period in the next few years. So we'll see where that ends up. But for now, I think dating and relationships, for most part, is pretty much cooked, you know. Andrew's like the ice king. They can stay in the back of the line. You're not taking them on no dates. What if they say, you know, I've changed my ways, man. I went to the church and I've saw the error of my ways. I rebuke feminism now. I'm a changed woman, Andrew. They said they're a changed woman. They've prayed about it. And they've seen the error of their ways. And they're waiting for Andrew Baker to take them on a date. And share some of that tech money with them. Stop leaving the country and playing these away games, Andrew. That's what they're saying. You gonna stop playing these away games, Andrew? You start eating some of that home cooked meal again? You'll go down to the church barbecue? He said, oh, Andrew has tasted that overseas action. He's not coming back. He's not coming back. And the problem is this. If you're going to consume the domestic product here with dating and relationships, don't go overseas. Because now you have a comparison and a contrast. So it's one thing if this is all you've eaten, consumed here in America. But if you travel around the globe and you've had global samples, including global samples of femininity, and then you go back to experiencing the domestic local product, oh boy. That's where the problem comes in, you see? You've tried the foreign, and then you go back to trying the domestic again. Boy, oh boy. Hell no, don't tell them to come over here. Don't send them over here. Hell to the no. No, I don't want them harassing me. You're crazy. Keep them, you're crazy. Don't bring them over here. Don't bring the women over here. I don't want no problems over here. Hell no. They don't come over here. Don't tell them women don't come over here bothering us. It's hard enough for us to just get by every day. We don't want them over here. You say some sad part is some dudes that rationalizing the switch up, saying they picking the best that can. Yeah. And you know what it is? It's that there's a big difference. And what dudes don't understand is that if somebody has been raised since they were a child to be under the leadership of men, raised to be wives, indoctrinated by the culture to take care of your man, that's one thing. That woman naturally, and the culture tells her to take care of her man. And if she's in a culture where women are shamed for not taking care of their man, and she sees taking care of her man as a sense of pride, as opposed to that, and versus some hyena that has been raised to be strong and independent, raised to hate men, raised to compete with men, raised to believe that men was part of this evil patriarchy that oppressed and abused women. But she's financially under duress. And she sees being with men as a last option. And she sees no other reasonable, reliable alternative. That's the difference. Somebody who raised and want to be there and enjoy serving you versus somebody who's dealing with you under duress. And that's the fundamental problem that we have now. We're dealing with women who are dealing with men in this country because of financial duress and fear of the economy, and men has become the last most reliable option that they have to choose because the bear has been a complete and utter derelict. They can't rely on the bear no more, so now they're back to men. The bear has given them the Pookie experience. So now they want men to fill in the gap for the bear. Because the bear is broke as shit. He got no money. And he don't fix nothing. He don't make no car repairs or anything. So women are operating on, even the lesbian women are trying to come back to men nowadays. The lesbian women are trying to come back to men because they're tired of the women. Them women don't pay no bills. You see, it's one thing to have all these ideologies about liberalism and being free and all these preferences as women when the economy is a certain way and certain political people are in charge. But when shit gets real and you have a load laying on your couch, a grown-ass woman that's not productive, them lesbian women like, hold on here. I got box, you got box. I'm paying all these bills like I'm a man. What is the benefit of me having box and being some masculine role? And I got your lazy ass over here. And women like, hell no, I'm going back to men. This is expensive over here. Shit got real. You know, things got real over here. They went back to men. I'm like, what? Hey girl, you've been a lesbian all your life. When you should start getting back into men? You'd be like, the economy, bro. The economies. We have studs letting their hair drop. You know, starting to correct that stud walk. They'll be like, shit. Let me try and put a little twist in my walk now. Studs be putting twist in their walk because of the economy. They're not out here. I'm telling you, I've seen lesbian women, and I know a lot of them. They've switched back to sausage. You know, and that's what's happening today. Yeah, the lesbian women have switched back to sausage. Yeah, see some sound. Yeah, I made the adjustment. He said, hey, of course. I'm telling you, it's going to be so strange in another year or two. You're going to be like, girl, when you start sleeping with men again? And she's going to give you some story. Man, look, you know, peaceful life, you know, I was with them hoes, but guess what? Things have changed. My brother Andrew, man. Salute to you, man. Appreciate the $10 super sticker, man. Appreciate the support, man. If you guys want to support the channel, please do. Appreciate Andrew. Appreciate my other brother up here. Where's he at? Red Pill Science, of course. Andrew Baker. Salute to you, brothers, for supporting the channel, man. Appreciate you guys. But you'll find the lesbian population will reduce by about 50% in the next 3 years. Or maybe they'll double dip. But man, you know, the way how they're going to be printing money in June, money, what's the next Fed meeting? The next Fed meeting. You can see the next Fed meeting. You see April 29th. Kevin Marsh takes over in May. Subsequent meeting, June 16th to the 7th, July 29th. So these are the listing for the Fed meetings. This is when the Fed's going to meet, okay? So the Fed's going to meet June 16th to the 17th. These after April. The next one is June 16th to the 17th, July 28th to the 29th. Okay. This is what I call the heavy money printing months. They're going to be printing money like, I don't think they print money anymore with quantitative easing. They just type in the computer, $1 trillion. Hit enter. They hit enter. Boom. And all of a sudden, $1 trillion just shows itself in the system, right? They start printing money, right? They start making money in the system. That's what the Fed does. They just go to the computer and just type in the number and shit. You working hard every week, they making money out of thin air. And you're like, damn, somebody just print $1 trillion? Yep. Guess what? It is what it is. And what is that going to do to inflation? What is that going to do with the value of your cash? I mean, hard assets is going to have value. Gold's going to have value. Real estate's going to have value. Land is going to have value. Hard assets is going to have value because they're going to adjust with inflation. You know, the value of those things are going to be inflated too. So house prices is not coming down. And the price and cost of materials and goods that companies need to use for labor will be higher in price. So the labor goes up. The cost of doing things goes up. If you don't have those skills, it becomes even a more burdensome situation because you got to think about it in terms of income doesn't go up. It hasn't been raised. Has income kept pace with inflation? Hell no. So what does that mean? More strain on these women. You know? You think they're going to wait? Yeah, I think so. But they need money to fund this war. But they need money, though. They're going to have to print more money. Where are you going to get it from? You know? And what's his name is no longer there. Powell is out in May. Jerome Powell is gone. Marsh is a Trump guy. Marsh going to be, I mean, it takes a board. It takes all the members to vote, but inevitably, they're going to just create more money. It's just what it is. You know, he has his people in there already. So it's just a matter of the chairman taking over. And there's going to be things that needs to be done in terms of funding things and paying for things. This stuff is not cheap. So inevitably, we have a system, we have a society, and we have a situation with the government where we're not going to get any type of relief anytime soon for those individuals that are not skilled with using their hands, fixing things and saving money and cutting back on costs. And especially for a lot of women who drive vehicles and operate machinery, they drive vehicles that are not reliable. They drive vehicles that are not the type of vehicles that we would drive that have reliability. I drive Toyota Lexus products, you know, even though, you know, for the most part, they're pretty much simple and straightforward to fix. You know, I've seen women driving Audis and BMWs and Mercedes-Benz and all these other vehicles that cost a fortune to maintain and fix, especially after that warranty has expired and you've taken certain complex vehicles to dealerships or stealerships, it can create a huge burden, and that's a huge problem that I see in the economy going forward is just inflation, 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 inflation. Housing prices is not coming down. It's not going to happen. Real estate's going to be expensive. Rents are not coming down. They're just not coming down. Rents are not coming down. I don't care what anybody says. They can't come down. The loans are too high. The landlord wouldn't make any profit. And that's not going to get any cheaper. And what has happened now is there's been a switch back to men. Any man, warm-blooded, healthy man with a good job, a good strong back, and stable income. He said they are still tapping into stealth QE methods using the Treasury to bypass outright QE, since people are more aware of it at ATM. Yep, you nailed it, my brother. You nailed it. Exactly. It is a very difficult times, strange times, expensive times. For those that don't know, and only thing I feel bad for is the young people with housing prices and things of that nature. I mean, they got to do something with the society, man. I know Elon Musk was talking about those $10,000 houses, those small mini houses and stuff like that. And then you got I'll be honest, I'm a Gen Xer. You got the boomers and everybody sitting on this real estate. Nothing is rolling over and creating more housing for young people. To build a house is very expensive. The cost is up. It's just a lot of complication going on in terms of those regards. I mean, you got boomers and, there's only 2 boomers in a 5-bedroom house. Yeah, smart homes I would move into a smart home now. Because I don't have any, I've already raised my family. I would definitely move into a smart home. Yeah, but we have all these boomers, 1 boomer in a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house, or 1 boomer in a 5-bedroom house, or whatever. Like, yo, you got 5 bedrooms. It's just you. You don't even need that shit. So that's not being transitioned over to the next generation who's raising families, for those that are still doing it. Me, I want to minimize. I want to reduce. Minimalism is my objective. I want less. As I get older, I want less. Put my ass in a smart house. I'm looking to have my electric bill be $50 for the month. Put some solar panels outside that smart house, and I'm good. He said, you own nothing and be happy, right? The World Economic Forum told us that vision of the future. Yeah, pretty much. But in terms of, you think about it. I remember I give you an example. My electric bill last month was $311. $311. It's only one person in this property right now. It's me. $311 for electricity. Imagine if I was in a smart home and you can knock that down to about $40 a month. Hell yeah, that's saving money. I'll switch to a smart home in a second. I wouldn't, especially with all the insulation and all the other stuff. Because I think global travel is going to be a big thing for the older generation when it gets to the point when inflation gets crazy. Moving around the world and traveling around the world. I have my own places like Da Nang, Vietnam, and places like that for the wintertime and whatever else. You know, those places, you can get a 90-day visa in Vietnam for 3 months out of the year. Maybe switch over to Thailand with a 60-day, with a 30-day extension. That's 6 months. You know, you can do that. And that saves a huge amount of money. You do 3 1-month place here, and then you do 3 months in another country. Or if you want to drift down south or whatever, you could rent an Airbnb or whatever else. You could kind of change it up a little bit, you know, do, 90 days in Vietnam, 60 days with a 30-day extension in Thailand, 6 months is done. And then do a rotation. You know, I don't know, some dudes like South America, some dudes like the Caribbean or whatever else, rotate around. I think that's an easier move for guys that are older and single, is to just move around. 3 months here, 3 months there. That's slow travel. That slow travel is looking real attractive. Mr. Slide. Yeah, that slow travel shit. Yeah, I would do that. Because I can't be bouncing from airport to airport all the time like that. Hell no. I can do 90 days in one location and just kind of travel around that country to different spots and do that way. But I'm not just going to be, all over the place, all over the globe. But that seems more logical with a permanent location here in America to just move around. Easier. It's easier that way, I think, But, that would be more interesting and more logical. He said, I do this at 29, Malaysia and Thailand in the last 6 months. Yep. Kind of move around. I've been to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. How they say Kuala Lumpur or whatever how they pronounce it. Malaysia. Some of the guys who travel in Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur. Malaysia. I haven't done Malaysia. I've done Thailand, but I haven't done the Philippines, because the Philippines got some issues right now. They've got fuel shortages. And there you go. Kuala Lumpur. He said, I'm there now. Man, salute to you, man. Kuala Lumpur. Yep. Yeah, so it all depends on which country people like, but Southeast Asia, travel is like, so, if you could control your vices. The critical thing about Southeast Asia is you can control your vices. He said, you don't blame the bonus for holding on to the houses when rent at the worst place costs more than even current mortgages. 2K. Yeah, I agree with that. Yep. What do you got going on in there, man? How is that? Why don't you know only? How cold is it in there? You got. Come on, you got solar panels and stuff. What's your secret? You burning fire? What do you got going on in there, man? Yeah, like what the hell? How you manage that? 3,425 square foot. What do you got in that house, man? I didn't be talking to you. He said, mugshot picture, that's great. Yeah, of course. I don't know. Oh, down south. Oh, come on, man. That's cheating. That's cheating, man. I'm over here in the Northeast. Today was pretty chilly. I'm in here talking to y'all. I was like, well, today it's gotten warmer now. As the day goes on, it got warmer. But yeah, it's down south. What state? But I'm definitely not doing. I'm not doing another winter here. No. I'm not doing no snow here no more. No. That's it for me. I was shoveling snow this winter. I ain't doing that no more. Last winter, I had bounced to northern Thailand. So I didn't have to shovel no snow last winter. But this is when I got caught. Anyhow, man, let me get on out of here, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning with me today, man. Any questions before I get out of here? But enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I know you guys got to get ready for work tomorrow. It's already 4:55. Appreciate the guys who support the channel. We got Andrew Baker, of course. Salute to you. Red Pill Science. Appreciate you guys supporting the content. You know, it is what it is. Appreciate you guys. Down south. Wow. Beautiful. Anyhow, peace and blessings to you guys. I'm out of here. You guys take care of yourself. We'll talk soon. I'm out.